Thank you very much. First of all, it is an honor and a pleasure to be in front of such a select audience. And I would like to thank Governor Radovic and Mr. Vlahovic for having me part of this distinguished panel. Thank you very much. 2 words, because I'm not coming from the central bank background or finance ministry background. I'm a banker for 30 years. I've worked always in Central Eastern Europe with large globals like Citi, with large regionals like Raiffeisen, with small regionals like Adico, and I'm confident for 1 year now with an emerging strong regional AikGroupe, which is present in Slovenia and Serbia. We're regulated, our supervisor is the European Central Bank, and I hope that next week we'll be able to confirm the transactions that we announced in December last year, acquiring the majority stake in Hipotecarna Banca and opening Montenegro as our 3rd market in this aspiration to become a regional player. With this introduction, the answer to your question is yes, we do take into consideration the inflationary pressures, and as you rightfully said, they're coming both from our portfolio and from the regulatory steps that we have to take. I would want to make 3 mentions and to leave with you 3 points with regards to the turbulent environment we operate in, and with regards to the fact that there is only that much that we can control. The first thing relates to the importance of the European Union convergence. The second point relates to the importance of creating regional champions. And the third point is about prudently managing during these turbulent times. Let me briefly go to the first point, the importance of EU convergence. I worked in the region, as I was mentioning, and I've seen the convergence process of various Central Eastern European markets. And I can reassure, if anyone had a doubt, that even though the road is bumpy, because of a number of efforts that have to be concluded, as you rightfully indicated a bit earlier, because of external factors that we cannot control. Over the midterm, the accession process is an extremely beneficial process for the local economy, for the market, for the social structures. And you know, the fact that there are structural funds that can be deployed, the fact that the regulatory environment that has to be put in place, look at the banking sector, just makes the economy stronger. It's maybe painful to implement, but at the end of the day, it creates a far stronger and more resilient economic environment. For us as a group, this process of accession and the selection of the markets we go to is largely driven by this concept, the fact that the accession process to the European Union, the convergence of standards, the inflow of capitals, the convergence of living standards, these are all elements that motivate us to go to selected markets in the region. The second aspect that I wanted to leave with you is the importance of regional champions. I believe that the only way to navigate such turbulent times is to be stronger. And, the best way to be stronger is to consolidate, is to create regional champions that can compete better in front of challenges like inflations, like climate changes, like tariffs, like migration from a unipolar geopolitical environment to a multipolar geopolitical environment, and possibly at some point to a zero-polar geopolitical environment. So all these elements would require harmonized regulations and legislation across the region, investments in common or compatible digital structures, infrastructure that is thought in coordination across the region. And you know, this particular event is an example. It contributes to creating this regional convergence. I'm confident that through such harmonizations, through targeted fiscal stimulus, we can develop regional champions. That is our view and the core foundation of iGroupe's strategy. The fact that we should have a banking group from the region which is dedicated to the region. We believe that there has to be in this region financial institutions for which this particular region represents the core priority and not a rounding error in the financial results where, you know, starting lending, limiting asset growth and so on and so forth represents just a secondary thought. So there are certain such players, but we believe that it is very important to have strong regional champions. Last but not least, it is undoubtful that we go through very turbulent times. I dare say that since 2008 and the financial crisis, we've always been in turbulent times, whether it was the financial crisis, whether it was pandemic, climate change, energy crisis, war in Ukraine. We're continuously finding ways to be in turbulent times. And there's no substitute in such context than balancing commercial growth with a prudent approach. In banking, we do it, partly thanks to regulation that, even if on an operational level we sometimes criticize, I think fundamentally it contributes to banking being probably the strongest sector in the region. Things like banking is doing should be done in other sectors as well. Diversifying income streams, diversifying supply chains, diversifying distribution channels, frugality. You're mentioning tight fiscal policy. In the commercial world, this means eliminating waste. We have to do these kind of things in order to strengthen all the sectors and navigate in a prudent manner. That will help us preserve the quality of our portfolios in banking. And also, I'm convinced that more and more, given the regulatory structure that we have in place, more and more banks are operating as consultants and partners to their customers when problems hit. So it's no longer only about collection, but it's a lot about early warning, about identifying problems before they really occur, through stressing portfolios, through stressing our assumptions. And that allows us to talk to the customers to make sure that our workout recovery processes actually preserve and strengthen the quality of the business and economic environment in